So this is Danger Noodle. He's a little corn snake. Isn't he so cute? Look at him.
This is
Yeah.
as close as I ever care to be to a
Yeah,
snake. This
I
is
am
just the
not a
perfect
snake
distance.
guy. Am I surprised that Tony loves snakes? Not at all.
Danger Noodle. That's what someone start calling my putter. Danger Noodle.
Danger Noodle. Go get him, buddy.
Danger. Somebody grab Danger out of my bag for me.
I'm gonna sneak this into the intro. Watch our podcast, or we're releasing Danger Noodle on you.
That's right.
So not usually a problem. I've got my kids. I just told them every time we record. I always tell the kids to be quiet and then never listen. They always come right back in here like as soon as I hit record. You're like, Daddy, can we have Pop-Tarts or whatever? So.
Did you notice in the background of, I think it was the last video released, the first or the second 9, your kids' faces pop up in the background like ghosts? It's like one of those old creepy movies where you're like, oh my God, I saw something.
Yeah, I think I put that in the gag reel, didn't I? Or was it in the show?
No, I think it's in the show. And
Is it?
I was watching it with Shannon. And I was like, look. It's great. You just see the little heads right back there, and they're just like.
Yeah. Sometimes those goofy things like that end up being. I was talking to Sully about that one time because he was like, one of our best performing videos ever. The reason that it performed so well is because we had a typo in the description and we forgot to change it. So just random things like that make people watch stuff. So, I think with the newfound, like, back to the roots approach that we've had, I'm kind of like, the hell with all the polishing it up. Let's just hit record and start talking and edit out the stuff that we absolutely have to edit out. Like, there's some lines we cross from time to time, but as long as we're in bounds, let's just put it out there. It's fine. I don't care.
Keep it in play and no penalty points.
That's right. No penalty points. Keep it in bounds.
Yep.
Somewhere between somewhere in the tree line. So we got a lot of good stuff to talk about today, though. I thought I was done playing for a while. I actually ended up getting to sneak in like 3 more rounds this week that I didn't expect. So we've got plenty of stories, and Tony's worked on a new game that's really cool that we played yesterday. We never really played it today, I don't think. It wasn't really.
We didn't play it today, no.
Today we needed flippers and life vests to play golf today, so I wasn't.
Snorkels, yep.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to get too serious about anything, but the game's fun, though. It basically penalizes you for doing stupid things and rewards you for doing good things.
That's the perfect game for you, Garrett. That's the perfect game for you.
And I beat him at his own game the first time out with it.
He beat me at my own game. He sure did.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I've been testing out the 70% rule since I promised that I was going to commit to that. And so far, so good. The first 2 rounds that I played with it, I've managed to not lose a golf ball, which is that never happens. I mean, I can shoot 68 and still lose a golf ball. I mean, I think
explain to the viewers what you mean by the 70% rule.
Yeah, so
all 20 people who will watch this.
That's optimistic. I think we're at 9 for the last episode right now. We thought give them more, that's a great idea. Let's just give them more of us and they'll watch more, right? And it's like, no, there is a Tony, Mike, and Garrett threshold of tolerance people have, and we've exceeded it, I think, in the first season of this. Nobody's interested.
I was talking to my kids. I was making them dinner, and I was like, yeah, Daddy's going to do the podcast thing this afternoon. And I said all 5 people will listen to us, myself, Garrett, Mike, Miss Shannon, and maybe one other random person.
Yeah.
And Joshua goes, you just got to keep going, Dad. Y'all will blow up eventually. You get more popular. You're just not popular enough yet. And I was like, that's fine. That's right. I appreciate it. He's like, you just got to keep going. I was like, all right, good.
Yeah.
Motivation.
So 70% rule, we introduced this briefly on the last episode, which is set to be released in about 20 minutes. So it's not there yet, but it will be by the time you hear this. 70% rule is do not hit any shots that you don't have at least a 70% chance of succeeding in pulling off, and 70% max power on every shot, or 70% effort. Technically 75%. I say in a 3/4 shot, but 70% rule sounds simpler. So every shot under control, no swinging for the fences, no stretching an iron as far as you can hit it, hitting everything, very comfortably, and no crazy shots. You have to aim places that you have a 70% chance of success, which some holes that's kind of tough. I think number 5 at Meadow the other day, I was just like, I think I've got a 70% chance of hitting 3 wood in the fairway. I know it's better than driver. So that was, it's caused me to play a lot more conservative at least. shot 81 the first time I tried it, and played absolutely awful. I mean, and my average right now is like 81.2. Okay, so right on my average. Made no putts outside of 6 feet. Didn't hit my irons good at all. Got a couple of bad bounces, nothing crazy bad, but just the ball didn't bounce my way. Didn't make any putts, and still shot 81. And I was like, well, that's actually pretty good for like a new ceiling. If that's as high as I can go, that's going to help. And the next day or a couple of days later, played with Tony and shot 78, hit 12 greens, 10 fairways.
Wow.
I did have two. Well, I hit it into 2 hazards. I played out of one of them, but did have another penalty shot on another hole. But the wind was blowing about 15 miles an hour, and both of my penalties or bad shots there were situations where I think the wind shifted. It was blowing from the right when I was getting ready to hit, so I aimed for the right center, and then when it mid-flight, it was blowing left to right. So blew
Yeah,
it
the
into the
actual
water a little bit.
quality of strike of both of those shots was phenomenal. Like, I'm watching him thinking, "Oh, he flushed that," and then the wind just changes and, yeah, nothing you can do about it.
The one on number 8, I did push it probably, I'm guessing 3 to 5 yards right of where I really meant to start it. I didn't mean to start it a third of the way on the right side. I was probably aiming for like center of the green, so I missed it by a few yards. But still, I was thinking I had a right to left crosswind, and it turned into a left to right crosswind. And right about the time I was waiting to see it fall back to the left towards the flag, it fell back to the right. And I said, oh, no, that's not the direction that was supposed to go. But hit it good, though. I mean, and so 78 and 81, I think I did have a penalty shot the first round, but that was one time I didn't do the smart thing. I did hit driver on number 7 at Eagle Ridge, thinking I was hitting it pretty good. And I was like, I can get it in play. Loudly swing, hit it left. It 1-2 hops into the hazard. So I did get a penalty shot there, but technically I wasn't following the rule there. Probably should have hit 3-wood. That's been a really big lesson for me out of this. I hit that 3-wood a lot better than I thought I did. I didn't think I had a lot of confidence with 3-wood, but my fairways hit percentage of that thing's like 80%. So now I've got a lot of confidence in it. I'm actually enjoying hitting 3-wood. So yeah, so far so good. And then Tony and I played today, and it was almost unplayable. I think it was, yeah, exactly.
Look at his face. It was like ominous when I woke up this morning and I took the kids to school. I had text Garrett saying like, "Hey, I'm going to try to sneak in 9 holes sometime on Thursday," and we realized that people were dropping out of their tee times in the morning because of the rain potential. And I was like, well, what the heck? We'll just give it a shot. If it's bad, we won't play. If it's, drizzle, we'll play. I get there and there's like 4 cars in the parking lot. And I was like, yeah, everybody said it's a no-go today. But it wasn't raining at all. And I go into the pro shop. I was like, what's up, guys? Like, where's everybody? And they were like, it's just you. And I was like, is the course playable or is it underwater? Like, no, it's playable. You can go play it. I was like, okay. So I'm waiting on Garrett to show up. And when we play the first hole, it just starts raining a little bit. And then it just whoosh, just the bottom falls out. Yeah. And we sat there in the cart for about 45 minutes just talking about life.
45 minutes.
Well, I had a big umbrella, golf umbrella and everything. We weren't getting wet. But it was like, we got nothing else going on. Let's just sit here and talk. And so we're talking, the podcast and everything and life and whatnot. And finally it stops raining and we end up getting to play all 18 holes with spatterings of rain here and there, right? But the course was absolutely soaked after that 45 minutes of just straight rain. And so we just played for fun. Like, we weren't really doing anything serious and it was whatever, but it was still a good time to be out. It's like you had the entire course to yourself. You're not rushed, you're not waiting. It's very rare that you get those opportunities in golf. So even if the course is soaking wet and you've already scheduled your day, just have fun, do whatever.
Well, I was telling Tony, it kind of reminded me of like growing up, because growing up, I was at a golf course like that all the time. I mean, I lived in a small town, not a whole lot of people playing golf on a Tuesday afternoon. So I would have the course to myself a lot of times, even on nice days. And, I tried to play serious for a little bit. I think Tony literally topped the ball on the second hole. And I was like, ha, look at Mr. Pro topping the ball. And then I completely topped one on the 4th hole, and it wasn't so damn funny then. But it was...
Well, and Tony topped the ball on the second hole because we just got through sitting in a golf cart for 45 straight minutes with no movement.
And also, you were literally...
I was trying so
Wait.
hard not to hit the ground because there's water everywhere, and I was like, I'm just gonna pick this ball off the tee,
Yeah.
so I don't
I
get
was going to say, I
splattered
mean, it's
with
one
mud.
thing. It's one thing to get off the cart after 45 minutes, but we were literally teeing off in standing water. Probably. I mean, there wasn't an alternative. It was like I'll play as well as I can. I know it's gonna be hard conditions, but we'll see what happens. And I played the first couple of holes okay, but then my gloves were too wet. I thought I'd done a better job keeping them dry, but my gloves were too wet. So it was actually better off playing without a glove, but it was still raining. So I'm like walking over with the club under my armpit, like drying it off as I'm walking to the ball. And I think my second shot on 4. So my tee shot was from 180. My second shot was from 160. And I think the club literally came out of my hand. My left hand stayed on it, but my right hand slipped off. And I was like, oh boy, this isn't good. But then we kind of turned it into kind of like we talked about in one of the last episodes, like an experimental round. I know I played a couple of holes, just gave myself a 5-second shot clock. We learned that is not a good way for me to play golf. I think I made a 9 on one of those holes.
Woo!
But it was fun. You just turn it into a little, just have some fun. Sometimes we take the game so serious. It's nice to have a day where it's just like, I don't even really care about the score. Let's just hit some shots, have some fun.
That sounds
Yeah, we played the last 3 holes from the farthest forward tee boxes just for fun. It was a blast. We referenced Mike's "What'd you get?" So what'd you get from the last? Because there was a few times Garrett had
Just
some
give me an
massive
8.
numbers. Just give me an 8.
Yeah. Well, I made a 9 on number 9, and that was my 5-second shot clock hole. That didn't work out very well. Then on number 12, I birdied 10. I was like, all right, we make the turn. We're like, we're going to play the back 9 for score. We're going to get serious now. I
Yeah,
birdied
let's try to
10.
make this happen. Yeah.
Yeah, I knocked in about a 20-footer for birdie on 10.
Woo!
Hit a decent shot on 11, decent chip, missed a 3-foot putt for par. I'm even par going to 12, and all hell broke loose. I almost killed Tony. I really thought I killed you, man. I mean, it was so I've hit my ball up. I was very lucky it didn't go in the hazard. It was only about a foot from the hazard, and so I'm just going to try to play like a little easy 50% 5-iron up the left side of the fairway. Don't mess with these trees. Just try to, and I don't know what the hell happened. There was a little bit of mud on the back left corner of the golf ball, like right about where the club would be making impact, but there wasn't enough that I expected it to do very much. But this thing has shot off maybe I would love to have had that ball on a launch monitor. I bet that thing's horizontal launch angle was -15. It came off so far left. And Tony's over there just minding his business, he's getting ready to drop or pick out a club or something. And this thing, I look up and it was like watching a quarterback leading a receiver in football. Like he's crossing the middle and I've just thrown a dart and I'm like, if he doesn't stop, he's going to die. And I just yelled as fast as I could, Tony, watch out! Tony, watch out! It missed you by probably 15 feet, though. You were safe.
This all sounds like one of my normal rounds. Playing for fun, making up games, telling people to heads up.
Yeah.
This sounds like a normal round for me.
You're not
Sorry.
safe there.
You're not safe there.
Tony wasn't even watching. He assumed that he didn't need to watch me hit that ball. You know what I mean? Like it was nowhere close to where you would think you needed to keep an eye
Yeah,
out.
I was like, okay, he's found his ball or he's dropping. It didn't matter to me. I'm just over there like trying to assess the situation, what I'm gonna do, just contemplating life and whatnot. And all of a sudden I hear, Tony, what's up? I'm like, oh, it's just like, what the heck? And I look around and I hear this ball in the trees. I look over at Garrett and he's just like, I was like, he didn't hit me. Whatever. I was like, I kind of wish he would have hit me. Put me out of my misery already and just be done with it.
I mean, this thing, I will say though, I mean, it may have been offline, but it was hit solid. I mean, it was coming at you about $1.25 probably.
Oof.
It was not mishit. But anyway, on a slightly more serious note, so you brought something up today, Tony, that Mike had asked about before, and we've talked about it before, but all the different nuances of playing in the rain. You brought up 2 or 3 today that even I hadn't ever thought of or heard. I mean, we know the obvious ones, right? I mean, your grips are going to be wet. Your clothes are going to be wet, which are just going to be uncomfortable. You got to stay dry. You got to do all these things. But I've kind of recently started to remember, like, okay, if the club head is wet, the ball's wet, that's going to increase the spin, kind of get that. Mud on a ball.
It should decrease the spin.
Okay, so the moisture is going to decrease spin.
Think about friction. How does friction work?
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, I
You
got
gotta
that
have
one
dry,
backwards.
right? So think about like the grooves on a club. When the grooves get dirty and get full, there's less friction that's
Yeah,
happening.
that's right. So less spin.
So that's where Mizuno came up with their like hydrophobic wedge coating for a while. They were advertising that, and Mike Allspaw did a test on them. And that's the thing is you lose spin when it gets
Bridgestone
wet.
has a ball like that because somebody gave me a sleeve of them a while back. They're supposed to be really good at like not getting mud on the ball or whatever, and they're I probably good at that. But when I went to put my mark on it, it doesn't hold the mark at all. Like one hole later, it's gone. So I was like, never mind. But there were a lot of other
And
things you
don't
said,
quote
like
me on that. I just want to. I mean, I'm just. You might have to edit that out but I'm pretty sure
I'm
it
thinking
reduces.
honestly, I'll be totally honest. I'm thinking of the Phil Mickelson David Verity clip when he talks about it, and I thought he said if there's moisture on the ball, that if there's moisture between the ball and the club face, that it increases spin.
That
So I
doesn't make
could
it.
be wrong.
Logically, that doesn't make any sense. You'd think. I would think the more slippery a surface, the less friction you have, right? And water acts as a slippery agent on a golf ball and a golf club.
Well, what you're saying makes a lot of logical sense. I
Phil
think
Mickelson. What
I
does he
tend to
know?
think you're right, but I saw Phil Mickelson say it on the internet, and it has to be true.
Or you
So
misremembered what he
You
said,
misremember.
that's a very good possibility.
or you
That's
misheard.
I love
I
that
misheard. I
show.
think misremembered.
Is Faraday still
Yeah,
The
doing?
David Ferry
Is
show.
he still doing it?
Uh-uh.
It's that was such a great show
he's such a wordsmith anyway.
back in the day.
He can turn the simplest everyday thing into entertainment. It would
Well, and he didn't care. He got to a point in his career where he was just like, I'm going to be that guy who just
yeah.
pushes buttons and, shots fired kind of guy.
Yeah, exactly. So a couple other things that you said today, though, that were just, I think, just worth talking about. Like, I would not have thought about the ground force reaction on a wet day, but you're right. The ground is spongy. You're not going to get as much ground force in your shots. There's 2 or 3 things like that you said today that I was just like, oh man, like, yeah, I totally hadn't thought about that one. And that might make a lot of sense. And like, it's really hard to know how far you're going to hit the ball. I hit a really, really solid pitching wedge on one of those holes that flew like, it probably flew 150. And then the next hole, I've got 5 iron and I've got 185 to the front and I leave it 15 yards short. And both were hit flush. Like, I don't have, and it wasn't that windy, but it's just inconsistent. I hit a ball on the neck, I think number 6, I hit an 8 iron. My divot is pointing directly at the flagstick and my ball comes off 30 yards right of it at least. Certainly I'm capable of hitting that shot. Not usually 30 yards right, though. Even my worst block with an 8 iron is going to be 15 yards probably. So just some funky stuff that I didn't know what to attribute it to. I knew it was probably the rain somehow or another, but I didn't know what. And then you kind of offered some of those along the way that I hadn't thought of.
But yeah, I mean, think about it again, like the here's the golf ball, here's the club face. When a golf ball is hit, to be a straight shot, technically the club face should be slightly open to the target line at impact, and then it compresses against the club, squeezes up against there, and it captures it, and then it's rotating the whole time. So it could start technically half a degree open, but by the time the ball leaves, it's square, 0, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you've got water on the club face, water on the ball, it could be sliding.
Mm.
Just even that
And then
yeah.
one thing, it's a double whammy too, because now the club face isn't closing, so it's leaving it more open, but it's also sliding at an angle that's putting cut spin on it also probably, if I'm thinking about my geometry right. So, I mean, you could end up taking a straight shot and turning it into a 10-yard block with 10 yards of fade from, I mean, depending on your speed and all that kind of stuff. But
So that's why
anyway,
that's
just
why people have that towel hanging on the side of their bag when they have to.
yeah.
You gotta
But when the
wipe-
towel gets wet,
Yeah.
it doesn't do you much good.
Right.
Yeah. Well, and that's why the pros have the caddy who has the towel under the umbrella the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah. Tony
I
was
mean,
not
yeah.
doing that for me today.
Nope.
Although you did help
Nope.
me keep my stuff dry, though. You had the umbrella up there for me, and
Mm-hmm.
when it was raining on us, you were very kind.
This guy
Very
shows
considerate.
up in a t-shirt and shorts, not even like a rain jacket or anything. I've at least got the rain jacket on
I
and
had
an
a t-shirt.
umbrella.
I had a golf shirt on. It wasn't a t-shirt.
Okay, sorry. He shows up in a golf shirt and shorts, but no rain wear whatsoever. I'm like, did you not look at the forecast? Like, what are you thinking here?
Honestly, and because I don't own rain gear, because I mean I used to have I think a rain jacket that somebody gave me was like 2 sizes too big, and a old pair of like warm up pants from 7th grade that I could throw on in a pinch because I haven't grown in 30 years. So I would do that once in a while, but honestly anymore, it's just like I'm probably not playing when it's raining, and if it is, I'm going to get wet no matter what I try. So I might as well just go ahead and get it over with early, and
Yep.
just deal with it. But it wasn't so
Yep.
bad today. Once
No, I agree.
it was just soaking wet and miserable as far as the conditions
Yep.
go. So you've got a new game that you've created. Talk about that a little bit. So we're still working on in the app lab, and we've got all kinds of different things we're playing with. But I really love the idea
Yeah.
of this one.
So long story short, I was thinking about how do you help golfers make better decisions? It's one thing to say, aim for the center of the green, right? Don't try to short side yourself. Don't do this, that, and the other. But that's just a concept. It has no actual tangible impact until they shoot an 8 or a 9. But then they'll always be like, "Oh, well, I just mishit it just a little bit. I could pull that shot off." And they have misconceptions about what their skill and abilities actually are. So I was like, "Well, what if we just gamify this and say every hole you play, every shot you take has scoring points potential?" So think of it like Stableford, where a par is worth this many points, a bogey's worth this many, slightly less, a birdie's worth slightly more, and then a double or a triple is worth 0 or negative points. And I was like, well, what if we did that for every single shot? So from the tee, if you just get the ball in the fairway, or not just, but if you get the ball in the fairway, you get, call it 4 points or 5 points, whatever. Then if you get the ball in play and it's in the rough, but it's in play, you only get 2 points. If you hit it in bunker, fairway bunker, it's -3, call it. And if you hit it in a penalty or out of bounds, it's -10. So it's a huge negative consequence if you do something stupid that you're not capable of doing, or aim too far towards a hazard or whatever. Same thing for the approach shot. If you hit the green in regulation, you might get 5 points. If you hit it within 15 yards of the green or a near green in regulation, you get 3. If you miss the green, but it's a safe miss, you still get a point. But if you hit it in the bunker or hazard, it's a massive negative points penalty, right? And then once you get it on the green, if you one putt, it's worth more points. 2 points, 2 putts is worth a regular, and 3 putts is minus points. So at every point along the way, the golfer is looking at what is the best decision I can make that gains points, and how many points can I gain in this specific scenario that's relevant to my skill level, and where can I lose points? I don't want to have negative points on this hole. I want to get as many points as possible in 18 holes, right?
Yeah.
And the idea there is that it just takes every shot and helps the golfer to think, A, what's going to cost me? Where am I going to lose points? And B, what am I capable of doing? And C, what's the most points I can gain given my skills in the scenario? And when you do that correctly, you save a lot of strokes because you're not making triples and quadruples and doubles. You're just getting points, right? Like for Mike, it's like I'm not making doubles and triples and quadruples. I'm getting points. It's a different mindset.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm gaining points. Yeah. So
Um,
it's a really fun concept, and we
Yeah.
tested it at Riverwood, and every time there was a scenario where it's like, well, I could do this. It's like what I tell guys, like, just get points from across the fairway or
Yeah.
whatever. I'm like, just score some points on this shot. And sure enough, like Garrett's not giving himself credit. I mean, we were both talking about how windy it was out there at Riverwood, and we played the tips, and that's already a 2 over par rating. And I was like, the fact that you shot 78 trying this for the first time in these conditions is pretty dang good.
Yeah.
And it was stress free. That's the whole thing. It's stress free golf. That's the best part about it.
That's really what and these two things are closely correlated because I mean the 70% rule is what we talked about last week, and I think that was probably partially on your mind when you came up with this idea. So it wasn't so foreign to me. I wasn't thinking so much about don't hit it here to hit it there because I was already kind of trying to do that anyway. But I did love there were a lot of times that I would hit a shot that I was a little disappointed in, but it was the right miss. And he would say, you still got 3 points because it's a close miss. It's a near green regulation or whatever, It was highly correlated to score, which I thought it would be anyway. It was designed to be that way. It's going to be highly correlated to score. You and I were both very close on points, very close on the card. So,
Yep.
yeah, I loved it.
I think you beat me by 2 strokes in score, and you beat me by 5 points in the points on the game. 4 or
Maybe
5
less than
points
that.
like
I
that.
think I had 103 and you had 99 or something like that. It was close. Yeah,
Yeah.
3 to 5 points, somewhere in there. Yeah, so it was, I loved it. And the last couple of rounds I've played, so I guess the first round is, I shot 81 and played terrible. The second round, when you and I played together, this was probably the first time in a real long time that I've just been, there's usually when you're going to play golf, you're partially excited to go play golf and partially nervous about how you're going to play. This was the first time in a long time that I was just excited to go play. Not in like an arrogant kind of way that I knew I was going to play good, but I wasn't afraid of how bad is it going to get. I figured it was going to be, I felt like I just kind of saw how bad it was going to be the couple days before. The 81 was, I can't hit it much worse than that, and I shot 81. If you tell me that's my ceiling, golf becomes a heck of a lot more fun. If I know I'm going to shoot something better than that, at least it's, and when you say stress-free, I mean, for the most part, I can't remember being nervous about a shot or worried or anxious about a shot. The one I hit in the water on 8, I wasn't really pumped about 190-yard 5-iron over water with water on the right into the wind. And turns out rightfully so, hit it in the water. But I mean, I hit a great shot there. That was one of the best struck shots I hit all day. It just, I didn't, you throw the ball up in the wind like that and you just never know what's going to happen with it. And that's what happens sometimes. But yeah, stress-free and just a much more enjoyable way to play the game when you feel like you've got a very good chance of hitting good shots every time you put a club in
Well,
your hand.
and even then, right, there were so many scenarios, not so many, let me give you a little more credit than that. There might have been 3 or 4 shots where you hit it, and immediately after you hit it, you're like, "Oh, that's so terrible," and it ends up on the green, and you've
Yep.
got a long 2-putt, or it ends up safe on a short-sided chip, up and in chip, and you're like, "Ah," and I'm like, "But look, you played within yourself, you played the right safe miss, and we're okay. You 2-putt for par, whatever the case may be, instead of having a 15-footer for birdie, right?" So it really was, it made the misses manageable, and the par 3 on Meadow, number 4
Yep.
it was, you hit a great shot, the wind just killed it,
Yeah.
and we didn't well, both of us misjudged the wind on that
Well,
one.
and not only do we misjudge the wind, so this hole, the wind is blowing slightly downwind left to right. And the way the hazard shaped on this hole, the further right you hit it, the further you've got to hit it to cover the hazard. And the hazard goes all the way down the right side, really. So if you hit it far enough right, you hit the hazard. So my biggest concern there was I don't want to go right, and I've got a left to right wind. Now I tend to draw the ball, especially when I'm trying to hit it lower. So I just kind of aimed left center of the green and thought if I pull it, I pull it. But at least I'm giving myself room for that wind. Mid-flight, I didn't hit it perfect. I hit a little bit on the toe, but I hit it pretty good. I knew it wasn't going to be on the green. I thought it was going to be over there just short of that bunker. You even said when it landed, it didn't quite get to the bunker. I think you're fine. So you thought it was
Mhm.
closer to going in the bunker than not clearing the hazard. And then I get down there and we
Mhm.
couldn't find it. So, but the other one,
But
you talk about,
we did find it eventually, it was just barely in the hazard, but yeah, it was
yeah,
a little
and it
short.
was playable. It was just, it's high grass hazard. I could play it. But then the par 3 after that, number 6.
Oh,
Oh
dang.
gosh.
Sorry. Olivia wanted, all of our 10 viewers to
Oh,
she's like, my stuffed animal has made an appearance in the videos. What about Danger Noodle?" So this is Danger Noodle.
Danger Noodle. That's what someone start calling my putter. The Danger Noodle.
Danger Noodle. Go get him,
Give me
buddy.
danger. Somebody grab danger out of my bag for me.
I'm gonna sneak this into the intro. Watch our podcast, or we're
There
releasing
you go.
Danger Noodle on you.
That's right. All right. Thanks, Olivia.
So
Watch this be the most popular video ever
oh, it
when it's
will.
just
We'll put that in the intro. Yeah,
the screenshot or whatever, the thumbnail is a snake.
yeah. So you mentioned my bad shots that worked out. Number 6, the par 3. That was I thought I hit that ball in the water. It was such a terribly hit 9-iron. It's 155 yards probably, and it's you want to shade the right side of this green anyway because water's left and water's short.
And water's long. Yep.
And water's long. Water's everywhere.
It's
except
still
for
wet.
right.
It's wet too, right? Last time I checked.
It wasn't
Water's
wet
still
yesterday.
wet,
This was
yes.
yesterday. Yeah, water's still wet though. So I hit an absolutely terrible 9-iron that I'm like, oh gosh, don't go in the water. And it like too hot. And Tony's mid-flight, he's like, it's okay, it's a safe miss. You'll be close to the green regulation. this thing was hit so badly, it had no spin, obviously, and it hits on like 2 or 3 bounces, kicks left, and rolls up on the green. And I ended up with like a 25, 30-foot birdie putt. And I was
And
like,
he's
wow,
just
that was
like,
such a. But here's the thing about that. I hit it so terribly, but I was not. If I'm trying to play my normal golf downwind 155 yards, I'm stepping all over a pitching wedge. Well, when I
right.
try to step all over a pitching wedge and miss it like that, it's going to be terribly mishit.
Mhm.
And I had to hit it perfect to even clear the water. Hitting that little 3/4 shot, your margin of error, even on your bad shots, your bad shots aren't giving up 40 yards of carry. They're losing 15, right?
Mhm.
That's the difference of being in the water and being 30 feet on the green.
Yep.
So,
If your target's the middle of the green and it's a 30, 40-yard front to back,
yeah.
boom, you're good.
So it was even you're going to mishit it. Think about it like this. If I told Tony yesterday, it's kind of playing the 70% rule is kind of like walking on the green and deciding you're going to putt a 2-foot putt instead of a 10-foot putt. It's the same game. You're just adding a lot more difficulty if you go the other direction with it. But if I say I hit a 7-iron 185 yards, technically I do hit a 7-iron 185 yards, or probably 3 out of 10 balls at solids if I'm swinging as hard as I can. But then there's going to be 2 or 3 more that I hit about as solid as I think I can hit it, and it's going to go 182. It just a little bit too much spin, launched a little higher, whatever. There's going to be several that I'm going to hit a little bit on the toe that go 175, and sometimes I'm just going to chunk one. It's going to go 150. But if I'm taking a 3/4 swing, trying to hit it 175, my worst shot's going to go 165 probably, and it just tightens up your dispersion and gives you more margin of error. So you're less likely to hit a bad shot, and if it is a bad shot, it's not going to be as far away from what you were shooting for as you originally as it would be for a full swing. So I'm getting it. It took me a while, Tony, but I'm starting to embrace the control game. It makes a lot of sense.
There was I forget what hole it was we were on, and he's playing really well and everything's going according to plan. He's doing a 70% rule. We're playing the game, trying to score points. He's like, "Damn it, Tony." He's like, "I'm a slow learner, but you're finally starting to get to me." I was like, "Yeah." No, it was hole number 3 of Meadow.
Yeah, I think so,
we were
'cause I
like 3
started
holes
off-
in. You were like, "I think you know what you're talking about just a little bit."
Well, because I started off fairway green, 2-putt pars, and you were just like,
Mhm.
boring golf. And, the only shot in that stretch that I kind of wish I had back was a 5-foot birdie putt I missed on one. Everything else was just right down the line. And it's just so much
simple.
easier. Easy, that's the word. I mean, it's just, and I don't know. I mean, I think that's something that anybody can learn. And I almost think that the higher your handicap or the lower your skill level, whatever, the more you would benefit from playing more controlled and within yourself. I don't know. It just seems like I certainly am finding it a heck of a lot easier trying to play it this way. Hang on, I got to sneeze. Damn it.
Mute your microphone.
I couldn't even mute fast enough. I couldn't even get to the mute button fast enough.
He's a little corn snake. Isn't he so cute? Look at him.
Quote Indiana Jones, snakes. Why does it have to be snakes?
Why does it have to be snakes? He's just a little buddy. He's so great.
This is as close as I ever care to be with a snake. This
I
is
am
the
not a
perfect
snake
distance.
guy. Am I surprised that Tony loves snakes? Not at all.
Not at all.
No, I mean, I didn't think I'd be a snake person either. And technically in the wild, I'm not a snake person. But this little guy, oh, he's just the best. Hey,
He's
look,
just
when my
chill.
baby girl, he's chill. When my baby girl said she wanted a snake, I said, all right, I'll get you a snake. And this is the little dude, the Danger Noodle.